Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Life Doula Podcast. I'm Charity, your guide in navigating the complex journey of cancer care. Today, we're diving deep into some of the most frequently asked questions during the suspicion and diagnosis phases of cancer. This episode is specially designed to help patients and their families find clarity, support each other effectively, and make informed decisions. Whether you're a patient, a love giver, or someone who wants to be prepared, this discussion will provide valuable insights and actionable steps. Let's start with the suspicion phase, a phase that often brings a lot of uncertainty and anxiety. Here, we'll discuss the warning signs that might indicate something is wrong and what steps to take if you're concerned. Number 1, what are the common symptoms or signs that might point or indicate to cancer? Recognizing these early signs of cancer is crucial, as early detection often leads to better outcomes. Some of the common symptoms to watch out for include: number 1, unexplained weight loss, persistent fatigue, changes in skin appearance such as new mole or sores that don't heal, especially in the areas of the mouth. If you have recurring canker sores in the mouth that do not resolve, please see a doctor to be able to find out what it is. Persistent cough or difficulty or trouble in breathing, unusual bleeding or discharge, and of course, lumps that you are uncertain what it is, whether it's in your breast or some parts of your body. Please do not ignore these signs. If you notice any of these symptoms, it's essential to monitor them closely and seek medical advice if they persist. When should you see a doctor about these symptoms? The next big question is, when should you seek medical advice? Here are some guidelines. If symptoms persist for more than 2 weeks, please see a doctor and do not self-prescribe medicines. Number 2, if symptoms are severe or they are worsening. It's also important to keep up with routine screenings like mammograms, breast ultrasound, colonoscopies, or in some cases for the males, have a blood test to check your PSA, which can help detect cancer early even if you're not experiencing symptoms. Remember, the presentation of cancer doesn't always come with pain. What can you expect during an initial visit? So, what happens when you decide to see a doctor? Here's what you can typically expect. Discussion of symptoms. Your doctor will ask detailed questions about your symptoms. Review of medical history. They will take into account your medical history and, very important, family history if anyone in your family has been diagnosed with cancer. When you see your doctor, it's very possible that you will go through physical exam. A thorough physical examination will be conducted and potential referral to a specialist. It's very important that you are open to the idea that when you see, say for example, an internal medicine doctor, you will be referred to a specialist. Your primary care doctor might refer you to a specialist for further evaluation. how should you prepare for your doctor's appointment? Preparation is key to making the most out of your doctor's visit. Here are a few tips. Number 1, bring someone with you. Bring someone to be able to take note of things that you may overlook during the consultation. Be ready with a list of symptoms, write them down, and how long. If you can, take note of the period when these symptoms started happening. Medical records. Bring any relevant medical records or medical history. And I suggest that you list down questions you want to ask your doctor. And this is the part where I say, do not Google answers to your questions. List down the questions so you can ask the doctor. Remember, Google is not a doctor. What are the emotional impacts of suspecting cancer and how do we manage them? Suspecting that you might have cancer can be emotionally challenging. You may experience feeling of fear, like fear of not being able to go to a doctor to consult. Fear that is immobilizing, fear that is stopping you from even securing an appointment with a doctor. Anxiety, and of course, uncertainty. And here's how we can manage this emotion. Number 1, at the suspicion phase, start creating a small group of friends or relatives for family support. This is when you can lean into them. Times when you are anxious, you have a small core group to rely on. Counseling or coaching. You can go and seek professional help, and counseling or coaching can be incredibly helpful during this time. Self-care. Engage in self-care. Practice walking and meditation, exercise, and hobbies that help you manage stress. We now move to the diagnosis phase. So I discussed frequently asked questions on the suspicion phase. Here we now discuss the diagnosis phase. This phase can be overwhelming. We'll cover the test used to diagnose cancer, what to expect from your diagnosis, and how to handle the emotional impact. You guys ask me very often, what tests are commonly used to diagnose cancer? Once you've seen a doctor, various tests may be ordered to diagnose cancer. It could be a series of blood tests that can reveal abnormalities that might indicate cancer. Imaging tests like X-rays, CT scans, and MRIs help visualize the inside of your body. Biopsy procedure. This involved taking a sample of tissue to be examined under a microscope. Number 2, how to understand your diagnosis. Receiving a cancer diagnosis can be totally overwhelming and confusing. There will be words, there will be jargons that you do not understand. Again, this is where I underline the fact that when you are waiting for your cancer diagnosis and you now consult a doctor, bring someone with you. You will not remember everything. Clarifying the type and stage of cancer. Ask your doctor to explain what type of cancer you have and what stage it is in. It's very important. The lower the stage, the lesser the toxicity of the treatment. Discussing treatment options. Explore the different treatment options available to you. Understanding the prognosis. Get a clear understanding of what your diagnosis means for your future. Questions to ask your doctor after a diagnosis. What type of cancer do I have? What stage is a cancer? What are the treatment options? Treatment options can include surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, or targeted treatment. What is the goal of the treatment? This is a question that is not often asked, but you need to ask the doctor. What is the goal of the treatment? Is a treatment goal curative, meaning they will treat you because you have a higher chance of being cured? Or is it life prolongation or palliative? Because all your decisions will base on the answer to these questions. What are the potential side effects? Second opinions and why they matter. You are your biggest advocate. So never hesitate to seek a second opinion. It is your right. It is your prerogative. And here's why it's important. Confirming the diagnosis. Ensure that the diagnosis is correct. Seeing 1, 2, or 3 doctors will help you be more confident with the results of your diagnosis. Finding specialists. Look for specialists who are experienced with your type of cancer. In the cancer space, the medical oncologist is the first person or first subspecialization that you seek. But depending on your cancer type, if it's reproductive, you may need an OB/GYN onco. If it's any cancer related to prostate for the males, you need a urologist. If it's a blood type of cancer, you will need a hematologist. So, different specialization for different types of cancer. How do you seek second opinion? Don't be afraid to ask your doctor for a referral or do your own research. Go to people who have experienced the same type of cancer that you have. In my case, it was breast, so I went to different breast cancer survivors. And I found my oncologist because out of the 10 people I spoke to, 8 of them recommended my oncologist. How to cope with the emotional impact of a cancer diagnosis. Remember, receiving a cancer diagnosis is emotionally overwhelming. So here are some tips to cope. Number 1, seek support. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There are so many cancer communities now. Better Days Wellbeing Center is one of them. Lean on to family. No matter how small the family is or some friends, you can draw strength from a community. Professional counseling or coaching. A coach or a counselor can help you navigate through the different emotions that will show up in your cancer journey. Upon diagnosis, you will experience incredible amount of stress, from stress of decision making to stress of raising funds for your treatment. So practices like meditation, journaling, and maintaining a routine of, say, in the morning, you decide to walk, meditate, hear mass, listen to a podcast. All of this can help provide structure and reduce anxiety. So I hope all these frequently asked questions can be of help to you. All you have to do is go to the Life Doula Podcast and look for this episode. And if you have more questions, you can also reach out to me. So that's all for today's episode on navigating the initial stages of cancer suspicion and diagnosis. I hope you find these insights helpful. Remember, it's crucial to stay informed, seek support, and take care of your mental and physical health during this challenging time. If you have any questions or you would like to suggest topics for future episodes, feel free to reach out to the lifedoula.ph on Instagram and on Facebook. Again, thank you for joining me today on the Life Doula Podcast. Stay strong, connected, heal strong, and until next time, please take care.